We're gonna get right into it, man. You know what it is, man. Episode 17. Two
Yeah,
cents and
17.
change. 2 cents and change the podcast. It is your boy, C.O. McLean.
It's your boy Melly Mel with that IT4. With that
Hey,
IT4.
respect. Respect the IT. Listen, man,
Yeah,
you know how we start off the show, man. We want to shout out to all our followers on TikTok. We love all you
yeah,
guys, man. I think we about at 130 or some plus followers right now. Just like 2 weeks ago, we was at 100. So that's just showing the growth over there on TikTok. So shout out to you guys. We reached 90 followers on Instagram. We gotta celebrate all the milestones. You know, we
yeah,
10
yeah,
followers away from 100 on Instagram. Shout out to all
yeah.
our followers on Instagram. Shout out to all our YouTube subscribers. I think we at I gotta double check. I think we about almost at the 100 mark subscribers on YouTube. So shout out to YouTube, all our subscribers on there, man. 17 episodes in, that's 17 weeks. We're gonna keep from week to week, we're gonna keep giving y'all these topics, and we're gonna keep giving y'all our 2 cents and change. All right.
Yeah,
Here it is.
yeah,
So, man, what's
for
our
sure.
first topic, baby?
Since I see my boy Tommy in there, let's kick it up with the Juan Soto, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was snubbed from being an all-star, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, snubbed to some. I mean, I guess in comparison to a couple guys. And Tommy, feel free to
Mm-hmm.
jump in, whatever you want to do. Cause I know
Mm-hmm.
baseball is your joint. So basically, me, I don't really look at it like a snub, because he's been
Mm-hmm.
sucking except for like this past month, if you're being
Mm-hmm.
honest.
Mm-hmm.
But his numbers is dope
Mm-hmm.
this past month, and I think the only thing that really is like Tommy said he think he should have made it, because
Mm-hmm.
when you compare him to a few guys that made it, it's like, yeah, he should have made it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Fernando Tatis, he has better numbers than him.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Schwarber, it's a couple other guys too, but those are
Mm-hmm.
two of the more notable guys. And I mean, his,
Mm-hmm.
his numbers are better than theirs. And he's been
Mm-hmm.
sucking for like, majority of the season. So that's
Mm-hmm.
very telling in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. But I'm a Mets fan, so my boy Lindor made it. I would have liked to
Mm-hmm.
see, and Alonso made it as well. I would have loved to
Mm-hmm.
see my boy Juan Soto make, because baseball is definitely tough, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Jeremy, what's goody?
What up, John?
Um, I think that you know, it's like ups and downs with the baseball. And I just think that you know, he was penalized because
Mm-hmm.
he got the big contract. A lot was expected from him.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people jumping. It's like, yo, the Mets was in first place. They're still in
Mm-hmm.
like first, second place in the division.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to just be out here with Barry Bonds numbers. It's like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
it's the beginning of the year. He got time to turn it around. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that him not making it was him being penalized for not living up to expectations out the gate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, agree, especially coming from the Yankees, right? You coming from the Yankees, coming from such a prestigious team over there with Aaron Judge and their expectations that they had when those two was paired up. That was supposed to be the juggernaut, right? Of hitters when he had Soto and Judge over there. I mean, he just won the NL Player of the Month for June, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
okay, he's
light it up.
progression. He's batting 263, I think 50, 21 home runs,
Drex was
51
good.
RBIs. What up, Jex?
Yeah.
What's going on? 263, 51 home RBIs, 21 home runs so far during the season. So, he's these are not numbers that you would expect to see from Soto, but are they good enough numbers to make an all-star bid? I guess that's the case that the people are making as opposed to his numbers. He is batting 263. That's pretty for a Soto batting average. That's pretty bad. Let's keep it a buck. Keep it
Nah,
a buck.
baseball, the 26, that's not bad in baseball.
I mean, I'm not
Baseball,
for bad. I'm talking about for Soto standards. That's
I,
I was
I
expecting to
mean,
be in a high, maybe 280s, something like that.
I
Two
mean,
two. That's my opinion.
yeah, but no, because people who made it have lower averages than that. So
Mm,
that's why they feel like he's snubbed,
mm-hmm.
comparing him to some guys that made it.
Uh-huh.
So,
I mean, we're
I mean, my
what,
two
20?
cents. He played for the
Uh-huh.
Mets. He should have been on there, man.
Just because he played for the Mets?
But he played for the Mets, man. Let's get it, man.
Nah, but they did say he's the first player in MLB history to achieve a certain combination of offensive statistics with 20 plus home runs, 70 plus walks, and 15 doubles plus 10 stolen bases before the All-Star break and not be selected. So that's big. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah.
You know,
So
those are numbers that put you in a conversation of like, yo, you know, he got to be an All-Star. You know, so you know maybe he
yeah,
was
yeah,
snubbed. Maybe he was snubbed. Hey, who
yeah,
are we to judge?
yeah. That's our 2 cents on it. And
Mm-hmm.
then next, another hot topic that I came across the waves, Drew Brees
Mm.
being not on CBS Sports. Let me highlight that.
Mm-hmm.
CBS Sports top 25 NFL players of all time. And we know
Mm-hmm.
CBS is a long time partner of the NFL. So I
What he
guess
said?
it's a
Soda was born to play. We're not jacking him. He left the event. Where he left the Avengers. That's facts.
yo, he on the Mets, man. You heard? But
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees, man. I'll let you kick that off. You got the list in front of you?
Yeah. So,
You wanna call off the list?
well, yeah.
Or
Okay. So, uh, and this is just he was okay. So he wasn't included in the top 25 list, right, on CBS list, right?
yeah,
So these are
yeah.
notable points as to why he was excluded, right? So he only has one Super Bowl win, right?
Uh-huh.
So they got their first Super. Some argue that having only one Super Bowl ring couldn't compare to a lot of the legendary football players that got multitudes of Super Bowl rings, right? Like
Yeah.
Joe Brady, like Tom Brady, Joe Montana. No league MVPs. Never won a league MVP award,
Nah, he
right?
didn't.
So that's a
Uh-huh.
huge consideration. Um, and some they and some they said some analysts suggest that while he posted incredible stats, passing, leading
Hmm.
multiple times, high completion percentages, playing in a pass-heavy offensive system, and in a dome for many home games might have contributed to these numbers. So they, saying that the dome conditions, you was never inclined to play in them inclement weather situations where you can prove, are you that quarterback out in the outside conditions. So I guess a lot of these factors they contributed to him not being in the top 25. But then you got to look at who are 25 quarterbacks above him, right? That's when you got to
Well, no, no,
start
no. Hold
seeing.
on. It's top 25 players, no matter position, that
Oh,
list.
no matter position.
Yeah, it's top 25
Oh,
players, period,
oh,
that they
okay. See,
put.
I'm thinking the list was
Nah,
quarterbacks.
no. I mean, quarterback, he's top 10.
Oh,
But
okay, okay,
but
okay.
quarterback is no, it's a top 25 players, period.
Well,
No
yeah,
matter position.
yeah. You can snub him out of the top 25 players. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
yo,
Tommy,
Tommy,
jump in.
absolutely. Hold on, Tommy. We're going to get you in. Hold on. Absolutely.
Nigga, Jake said Drew Brees, the Chauncey Billups of NFL, great player with the Hall of Fame. But I'm looking at him as an
The
all-time great
Chauncey
player.
You,
Billups.
what up,
Yo,
y'all?
Tommy was good.
Tommy, what's good, bro?
So you said the list was top 25 players, right?
Players,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So I think it
You
would
want
be
to?
okay
Mm-hmm.
depending on the quarterbacks that are on there. Because if you're not doing a quarterback heavy, I think it's okay. But if you have too many quarterbacks on there and you're leaving Drew Brees off, I'm not feeling that.
So that's what
Now
I'm
let's
saying.
see.
Bring up the list, bro. That's what I'm saying. We got to
Okay.
bring up the list to have,
Okay,
clarity.
gotcha. So let's go. Let's see. So the CBS top 25 list was okay. This is not it. Hold on. Hold on.
I looked at the list. I just don't have it in front of me, but I could tell you off the top. I remember seeing my boy Ray Lewis at number 9. You
Uh-huh.
feel
Okay.
me?
All right.
You feel me? I said that's the only one I remembered off the top.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
All right.
yeah,
So let's see. Here
Because
is
if you have too
the
many quarterbacks, if you have like 10, 12 quarterbacks, that's not Drew Brees
yeah,
got to be on there. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. If it was a quarterback list, he would have been top 10. But
Yeah,
it
he should have
wasn't.
been top
From what
10
I
for sure. Yeah,
remember,
yeah, yeah.
it wasn't a lot. It wasn't like mad
It
quarterbacks because
wasn't
you
quarterback
got
heavy. All
you
right.
got yeah because you got Ray Lewis's, Dion's, a lot of defensive guys. So it wasn't like littered with quarterbacks. The quarterbacks that you would expect for sure, the Brady's, the Manning,
Mhm.
excuse me, was on there. But
Yeah, because in football, those lists, sometimes they get too quarterback heavy. And,
yeah,
can't be leaving Drew Brees off. He was like had every passing record before Brady played till he was 40,
That's
45, you know.
facts. That's facts. Okay, so
You
here's
got
the
the list, bro?
list. I got the
Taking forever with
list.
the list, man. Like,
I know it was, you know, I was trying to find it.
hell,
So,
bugging. Dial up phone.
so the top 25 now, we got to figure out, right? This is NFL players, this is CBS top 25 NFL players list. So we got to
Yeah.
decipher whether or not Drew Brees can exclude one of the members that's in the top 25. So
Yeah, for sure. So ring it off.
Mm-hmm.
number one was Patrick Mahomes. Can we exclude him?
Wait, hold on, wait. No.
You want to just go
Read
through
the
the
list, bro. Read the
Okay.
list.
Okay.
Read the list.
Okay.
Like, you starting with Patrick,
Okay.
like he's not number one on the list. Like,
I'm
you know
just
what I
saying
mean?
we're going
Number
we're
one's
trying to
Brady.
see
Number one's
can he
Brady.
exclude any one of those
Nah,
players.
bring the list off.
All
If we're
right.
gonna do it like that.
So number one was Patrick Mahomes. Number
No, he
two,
was not number one.
Huh?
He's not number one.
Oh, this is. Oh, hold on. List of top. This is. So who was number one? This is the list they giving me.
It's not Brady?
No, they got. This is NFL players.
We talking about the CBS NFL top 25 of all time.
That's what I'm looking at. Hold on, let me look at it again.
Son. Dude out here, man, about to have us ripped all over the net. This bootleg shit, like, yo, what's wrong with yo? Yo, hold
Hey,
on.
this is Google, bro. This ain't me. This is what Google is giving me.
But what are you? But you googling the wrong shit.
I'm putting CBS NFL top 25 players list. What the fuck is different from that? Nothing. That's what they giving me.
Yo, I
Okay,
know.
here we go.
Whatever list
I
you're
got
looking at,
it.
Mahomes ain't one, so I know
I
it's
got
wrong.
It's Brady. Brady's number one. Brady's number
Huh?
Like this nigga guy talking about some Patrick Mahomes one. The feezies, man, yo. Read the list, man.
Hold on. It's not giving me. Yeah, it's not give. Wait, is it? Is this it? Nah, it ain't giving me the. It
Hold
ain't
on,
giving me the
man.
list.
I gotta go on my. I'm on the Xbox now, cause
Hold up,
Yeah,
let me try to find it.
it's giving me different lists.
I know it's giving you wrong shit. I know.
Let me see. CBS.
Nigga, man.
Okay, here you go. I got it. I think this is
You
it.
sure?
I think this is it. All right, so number one is Tom Brady.
Okay, there we go.
Number two is Jerry Rice.
Okay, this is the list.
Yeah,
This
number
is Patrick Mahomes. Like
Number three is Jim Brown. Number four is Walter Payton. Number five is Joe Montana. Number six is Peyton Manning. Number seven is Lawrence Taylor.
Well, it's still a little low for me.
Number eight is Reggie White. Number nine is Barry Sanders. Number 10 is Dan Marino. Number 11 is Patrick Holmes. Number 12 is Dick Butkus. Number 13 is Johnny Unitas. Number 14 is Ray Lewis. Number 15 is Aaron Donald. Number 16 is Joe Green. Number 17 is Randy Moss. Number 18 is John Elway. Number 19 is Emmett Smith. Number 20 is Anthony Muniz. Number 21 is Alan Page. 22, Rod Woodson. 23, Gail Sayers. 24, Tony Gonzalez. And the last one is Don Hudson.
yo.
So out of those
I ain't gonna
25
lie
is
to
like,
y'all, man.
who can you take out to put in Drew Brees?
All right, you ready? You ready? I'm gonna tell you who. Remember Head of State when Bernie Mac got off the train, started smacking people just off the train, just pat pat.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna tell you who I'm smacking off the list, off the rip, because Drew Brees and some other people could be added on.
Yeah, I was
Don
gonna say there's a
Hudson?
couple other people.
Don
It's not just
Hudson?
Breeze.
Don Hudson, out of here. Don.
He's
outta
number
here.
25.
Because
Outta here.
Rodgers
Outta
isn't
here.
on the list either.
Who?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, Aaron Rodgers not on
Gail
there.
Sayers, out of here,
But
man. Yo, come on,
How much
dog.
MVPs Rodgers got? He got what, 3?
Rodgers,
Yeah.
I think, got 4. I
He
think
got
Rodgers
4?
got 4. He got
4
the 2
MVPs,
late.
one championship.
Yeah, I think he got a Super Bowl MVP and 4 regular season MVPs.
Is that enough to give him a top 25 players list? Though?
I mean, I think so. I would put him in there, especially if you have Dan Marino in there. And Dan Marino don't got, he don't got any Super Bowls.
He don't, but he holds a lot of records.
He do go to a lot of records, and he threw for 5,000 yards when nobody was throwing for 5,000 yards.
So you gotta acknowledge that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the only person I could see taking out, honestly, is I could replace her with Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think Aaron Donald would be my first one off the list, though.
Now, he wouldn't be my first one off the list, but I will say this. How he on the list before Ed Reed?
Ed Reed, I mean,
Ed Reed? Like, for real? Like,
I mean, he didn't really have like this he don't really have like those statistical stats to put him up there. He was a great defender. But if you're looking at all
Reed,
bro. I wouldn't put Ed Reed in the top 25 NFL players. If you're gonna say Ed Reed, then you gotta put what's the dude name? That played for the Seahawks, Seattle Seahawks.
What, Sherman?
Richard Sherman?
Sherman.
Are you serious?
Nah.
Come on. Richard Sherman, Ed Reed.
Ed Reed's in a different class.
Maybach Honda. What the heck is wrong with you, man? You said, Richard Sherman and Ed Reed?
How many trips did Ed Reed win?
He won.
How many trips did Ed Reed won?
He won one.
One. How
Just
many
like
trips
Ed
did Seymour?
Reed.
Does Richard? I mean,
Ed Reed?
Who?
Ed Reed and Sherman both won one.
They got one.
Sherman and Reed both got one.
But you said, no, for real. You said Richard Sherman and Ed Reed. Why are we comparing them?
I like
Maybach
Ed Reed, but
Honda.
Ed Reed's in a different class. Ed Reed's in a different class.
I like Ed Reed, but he was just a good defensive player. What stats does he hold in the all-time players list?
He got a lot of interceptions.
Okay,
but what is he like the lead top
if
5?
Peyton Manning,
Let me look at
Peyton Manning talks about how smart he is. Peyton Manning.
Yeah. That's just how smart he is. That doesn't add up to
I don't think Sherman got any of those. I don't think Sherman got any of those records either, though.
The only thing Sherman got is arguing with Skip Bayless, man.
Yeah, he do got that.
Like, bro, you really like all right, man.
Let's go. Hold on, before we go, let's look at him side by side.
I'm ready to move on because you're tripping. You're bugging right now.
Let me see what he got. Okay,
yeah,
9-time Pro Bowler, Ed Reed, 9-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All Pro, NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Keep it going.
Ed Reed made the NFL All 100 too, the top 100.
Yeah. Like this dude is bugging. Like what?
What's his career? 64 career interceptions, 7 touchdowns. I mean,
yo, and you would try to minimize, I mean, dude is bugging right now. Bro, safeties and cornerbacks is not getting like receivers getting
Richard
like 20
Sherman,
touchdowns and shit.
is not that far off. Ed Reed got 6-time All Pro.
Hold on, ring up Richard Sherman stats. Bring up Sherman stats. Bring them off.
Relax.
Nah,
Ed Reed is a 6-time All Pro, right? Richard Sherman, five-time All Pro. The only 37 career interceptions for Richard Sherman, 64 career interceptions for Ed Reed.
Double that.
5 Pro Bowl selections for Richard Sherman, 9-time Pro Bowl.
He got double that. He's doubling this motherfucker. Like, what are we talking about?
You're not really doubling him now. No. I'm just saying. Ed Sherman is good. Hey, but your case is like
he ain't Ed Reed. He
doesn't have Ed Reed is not statistically.
If you put out a poll, nobody's voting for Sherman.
Ed Reed's in a different.
Nobody's voting for Sherman.
Ed Reed's in a different class.
Nobody's voting for Sherman.
Good. I'm not taking Ed Reed, and I'm not saying that Sherman is better than Ed Reed. I'm just saying if you're going to include Ed Reed, you got to mention Richard Sherman too, because he was one of those guys as well.
No, you don't.
Also, Ed Reed, they play 2 different positions too, so it's a little
safety
hard
and cornerback. Yeah,
it's a little harder to compare it, but Ed Reed's definitely.
Bro, that one was an L for you. No, for real. Hold the L and we move on because you're bugging right there.
That's not
that was out of control. No, that was out of control. Out of control.
But like you said, they play 2 different positions. That's comparing.
That's like saying Eli was better than Peyton. That's what that's like
But
saying.
we all know Eli's not, but because you know why? The stats show is an
This,
overwhelming amount of stats. Ed Reed is not overwhelmingly over Richard Sherman, but again, they played two separate positions. So
all
let's
right.
keep it at that.
All
Let's
right,
keep it at that.
since the energy is like this right now, I like this energy. The next one, we're gonna do who you choosing, Shaq or Dream. Then, since the energy is like, I like the way the energy is at. We in a debate energy, so let's keep it there for right now. Shaq or Dream?
Shaq
Tom,
or
start it
Dream?
off. Tom,
Let
start it
you.
off.
I'll let you. Go ahead. You can start off.
It's just all time, or if like
Nah,
all
all
time.
time. Who you
No,
taking?
no, I
Who
like
you
that. I
taking?
like. Hold on, before we start, I like that comment about shoot for the loop on live. They wasn't throwing the Sherman's side, so it's hard to gauge
See, niggas
cornerbacks.
trying to hype me up. Shoot for the loot on the live. Answer this:
Yep, yep.
Is Sherman better
I'm
than Ed
trying to.
Reed? That's
I'm
all I
trying to
need
tell
you
you,
to
it's
answer.
not.
Nah,
We
it
could
don't
go
matter
back
about
and
throwing the ball over
we're
there.
gonna agree to
Who's
disagree
the
on
better
this one.
player? Shoot
We're
for
gonna
the loot on live, Ed Reed or Sherman? All
Ed Reed
right, so we gonna be
also Ed Reed also covered the whole field. Sherman was really on the one
just one
side.
side
You
of
know
the
what I mean?
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so. So I'm not responding to shoot for the loot till you answer that. And once you answer that, then I'll holler at you. All right. So we're gonna talk about Shaq and Dream. Then I'm gonna holler at you for the loot. Ed, all right, now I can rock with you. I can talk to you. You good? You had a good day? All right.
Hey yo, shoot for the loop. Do not let his overexertiveness
Nah, it's not. But
persuade
yo,
your
it's not.
opinions.
It ain't
Okay,
persuading. It's just
okay.
he's speaking real.
Just
He's
because he's
speaking
all loud
real.
and obnoxious, don't make him swear your position. You stick to what you stick with, okay? Okay?
Nah. All
That's
right, all
my
right. So,
brother. I
Ed's
love him.
all
Ed's
I
right.
love
Ed's
him, but
Ed's
his
Ed's the better player though.
overexertiveness is not going
Ed's
to
the better
ever sway
player.
my
We know that.
opinions or anything.
We know that. And then you trying to be slick and talk little bullshit, they ain't gonna sway me. That's why we be bumping heads. But that's why 2 cents and change. But so what's good though? Shaq and Dream though. It's all time though. Tell me by the way. It's all time.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, Tommy. You go first. Who you picking?
I would take Shaq just for his dominance, but I will say when it comes to Hakeem, I think people underrate him. Like I got Hakeem personally in my top 10. I think he would be like at the back end of that top 10. Just because of his defensive presence and he's best defender all time, in my opinion. And I would take Shaq by a little bit just because of how physically dominant he was and the three-peat and everything. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a big gap. I don't think it's a big gap. But just Shaq's dominance, I'll take him.
Yeah, go ahead,
You got,
bro.
bro. You want me to go? All right. Well, me, it's not a right or wrong. It's a preference.
Yeah.
I feel like, but I mean, me honestly, I prefer Hakeem. And I mean, that's probably one of the few times we've seen, Shaq get outdueled in the finals, like in a matchup head to head. I feel like Hakeem kind of proved like his status because he was the ripping David Robinson, bust Patrick Ewing ass, Shaq. Like he went against the best and did his thing. I think from that standpoint, like seeing Hakeem, but I just prefer Hakeem. I mean, I just think he's better defensively. He has a better offensive game. Um, I mean, I just like Hakeem more. Honestly, I got Hakeem higher. Because I know Shaq is more dominant, but Hakeem brings more to the table
Mhm.
overall. But like I said, I don't feel like it's a right or wrong. I really feel like it's a preference thing. But my
Yeah.
brother, you was live and about during this time in the heyday. So what's your take?
I mean, you had mentioned it. When they met in the finals, it was a young Shaq on Orlando, and at the
Yeah,
time, Olajuwon was in his prime. That was peak Olajuwon. During that stretch. Then later on,
yeah,
when Shaq went to LA and got into his body, that was when Shaq couldn't be stopped. Right. So, if you look at both players, it's a toss up. You can't
yeah,
argue either or. Right. Is either you like skills more than dominance, or you like dominance more than skills. Both won MVP award. Shaq obviously got 4 titles. Hakeem got 2. But in a head to head, in that particular moment, skill outplayed the dominance. Even though Shaq wasn't that dominant figure, but Shaq was like a unicorn then. He was like 7 foot. He could running the rock, and I mean, playing like a point guard, center. Shaq was really nasty in the Orlando days, but then he met up with Akeem, who was really skilled footwork wise and was really just dominating Shaq in that series.
Yeah.
Which ultimately they got swept, right?
Yeah.
Akeem swept them. So it's hard, you know. I would do what Mike say, right? 5 is better than 3 at that time when he said when LeBron had 3 and Kobe had
Yeah.
5. You know,
Yeah.
so four is better than 2. So, you know, as far as championships wise, you know, Shaq, but it's a toss up to me. I can't really pick, you know, but what I could say is like when they do the comparisons of like Kobe, how they say Kobe is the most skilled shooting guard of all time. Mike was the most dominant. LeBron is the most complete player. Shaq was the most dominant player, and Hakeem was the most skilled center. You know, like I mean, Shaq was the most dominant center. Hakeem was the most skilled center. So it's a toss up. It don't matter.
Yeah.
If I
There
had
ain't
to
no
pick
right or wrong.
one,
Yeah. Preface.
if I had to pick one, I would say my preference. I would take my 2 cents. I would take dominance over skills because Shaq dominated. You
Yeah.
couldn't stop the man. You know, so I would take
Yeah.
Shaq.
And then, as I said, it's preference. It ain't no right or
Yeah.
wrong. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it really boils. It's not like we talking about Patrick Ewing or one of them. Then they'd be like, "Ah, you bugging," you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Type of thing. Like, 'cause there's a clear separation, you know.
Right.
But I think them is like, yeah, it's really preference.
I kind of agree
Yeah.
with what he said. With if I'm starting a team, like building a team around, I'd probably take Hakeem because he
Mm-hmm.
offers more on the defensive side of the ball. But if I'm like just ranking like my top 10, like I said, I would take preference would be Shaq by a little bit, but you know, like you
Yeah,
guys said, it's preference and toss up.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's one of those good debates, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have your reasons for this or
The
that,
comment
but it's
section
not.
gonna eat that up on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because some people they're gonna lean either way. Like
Mm-hmm.
But I think if we really looking at it just from like basketball, it's like like you said, dominance, skill, and I feel
Right.
like they both. You could look destroying people. Shaq destroyed
Mhm.
people in his way, and
Mm-hmm.
Hakeem destroyed these bigs in his way. So that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's like you could look at both and be like, "Yo, he really killed mad people in
Yeah.
both ways." It's
Mm-hmm.
not like they went against their position and they
Mm-hmm.
ain't give people the work. Nah,
Mm-hmm.
everybody got the work either
Right.
way. And then when they met, like you said, it was a little bit unfair for Shaq at that time because he was still fresh. And at that
Right.
time, Hakeem was on a mission. David
Yeah.
Robinson got him
Yeah.
hyped, and everybody was just getting ass kicked.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so it was timing. I would have
And
liked to seen them meet when he was in LA.
And speaking of David Robinson, I'm sorry to use
Yeah.
David Robinson as the guinea pig here, but when we're talking about skills and dominance, you got to look at what both players was able to do to David Robinson, right? So Hakeem Olajuwon, the infamous pump fake, turn around
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
air, David
Murdering.
Robinson,
Murdering
and you
him.
got
Yeah.
Shaq just turn around, just dunking on him,
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like, poor David Rob, he had to go against both of
And
those
he
guys.
one of the greatest though.
He
So if
won
they
an
making him look
MVP.
like
He won an
that,
MVP.
yeah,
Yeah,
so if they
Mhm.
making him look like that, that
look
says
right.
something, you
But again,
know?
it's skill or
Yeah.
dominance. Which one you
Mhm.
gonna take? What is it?
Yeah.
He got a question. Y'all brought up two
If
guards. Where do we put Vince Carter
Vince Carter
skill wise?
Vince Carter he had no flaws in his game. I think
Mhm.
that Vince Carter just like what I think hurt Vince Carter, and I remember because that was one of my favorite players growing up too.
Mm,
When he didn't, it's like before he got traded from Toronto, he was averaging like 15 points. Then when he
mm,
went to Nets, he was averaging 30.
yeah,
So to me, it's like he didn't want to be there. So
yeah,
he got hit with that stigma, like he don't be trying, he don't want. So I
yeah,
think it take away from that in his prime, and then also for people that's younger, like how long he played. People don't remember the
Yeah,
prime Vince.
I think he
I
was
mm,
one of
think
the
those two
guys.
things.
Like I think he was one of the guys that kind of like held on too long. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah,
like see. You don't want the memories of like of him being on wherever.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
mm.
yeah. He stayed. He hung on too long, too long. I think
Yeah.
that's the two things that hurt Vince.
And I think for Vince, when you say skill wise, right? He had an incredible jump shot.
Incredible.
He didn't really have a post game.
He
He
did.
I mean, he didn't really showcase it that
You
much.
don't
He was
think
more of
you
a
don't think
jump
so?
shooter. Now he was
Okay,
more of a jump shooter
okay,
than
okay.
going to post like how Mike Kobe
I
do with the
understand. I understand what
footwork.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
understand what you're
wasn't.
saying.
He
Like,
was
okay,
more of a jump shooter, athletic,
he
kind
could
of
do
guy.
it, but he didn't do it enough for you. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you
So
saying.
skill wise, I think that's why Vince is not mentioned with a lot of these guys as far as in that skill level. Because when you think of Vince, what do you automatically think of?
Think of the dunking mainly, the
Dunking.
athleticism and the dunking. Yeah.
Duncan. That's what you think of Vince of. You don't think of Vince as incredible footwork. Even though he had an incredible
Mm-hmm.
jump shot, you don't think of Vince Carter had an incredible jumper. You think of him as dunking. So I think skill wise, that's the stigma that's attached to Vince Carter. Like he was a great dunker, but the guy had incredible skills, but
And he
it's
was an
not talked
incredible
about
scorer.
enough. It's not
Yeah.
talked about enough. He was an
And that
incredible scorer.
maybe that's because Vince ain't really in as far as postseason and stuff and going having a lot of deep runs or that one deep
Yeah.
run. Like Iverson has that deep run that everybody could point to, or even Melo
Mhm.
making it to the con. Like they have these deep runs. Even though Vince made a conference finals with Orlando, but he wasn't the premier guy. He's
Didn't
Wait,
he?
more
he was on the Nets. He made the finals.
no, no,
He
he
wasn't on
wasn't.
there.
No, nah.
Who was on
That
that
At
was
the
Nets
end of
Jason.
team?
his,
That was Jason Kidd with Kenyon Martin and Kerry
And
Kittles and
Kerry
Van Horn
Kittles.
and
Yeah,
them.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
Man, he was still in Toronto during that time.
didn't
Mhm.
he have that game winner with the Mavericks in the corner?
He did. That was in the
Yeah.
first round, I think, though.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
that was a
he
big
got
moment because
Vince Carter has
he
moments.
yeah,
He
yeah, he
has
had that
moments.
because he was a little old by then, and
Yeah, he
he
has
had that
moments.
was a
Like
big moment.
yeah, and then the 50 against the Sixers with the 9-3. Like he has moments. Even in Jersey when they
Mhm.
eliminated Toronto from the playoffs after getting traded to Jersey, he had moments.
So let me
But
ask this question: if Vince
yeah,
Carter hit that corner shot in Philly, are we changing the narrative with Vince?
I think that if Vince Carter makes the shot on Philly, it's gonna be a couple of things. How do we talk about Iverson? Because Iverson, that finals run is a big part of his legacy, even though he lost. Who he
Mhm.
lost to, I feel like gives him the pass where it's like it's acceptable.
And he
So
got
I
that he
think,
got that game too. Iverson got that game in off them.
yeah, so in the game, exactly. But
Mhm.
it's like if Vince Carter makes the shot, he doesn't even get to have that game.
Right.
And even against Milwaukee, Iverson had the 44 in game 7, the big
Mhm.
game 6. So without that part, the question is like, what does it do to Iverson's legacy?
If Vince Carter hit that
Vince,
shot.
yeah, and then if Vince, I don't know if Toronto even beats Milwaukee though. To be
Mm.
real, I
Mm.
don't know. It would have been a decent matchup, a good matchup. I don't know though if Philly could beat him. I feel like Toronto is capable of beating him because Toronto has some guys, but
Mm.
I don't know. But if I think that Vince would have needed to beat Milwaukee though, and we can't say if he beat Philly, they definitely beat Milwaukee.
Yeah, because
So
Philly was a better defensive team for Milwaukee.
yes. So
So
Mhm.
so that's why it's kind of like,
right.
okay, Vince, you beat Philly, but do you beat? Because if you don't beat Milwaukee, then it's still empty calories.
Mhm.
But it still furthers him into his career as far as where you out of the first round going into the conference finals or what
Mhm.
have so
Yeah,
those things builds legacies
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
um
yeah,
but that's a good question shoot for the
yeah,
hoop like that one.
yeah. And
Shout out
since
to
we
Vince
talk
though.
about
Shout out to
yeah,
Vince.
yeah, and since we talk about that, we might as well jump into Paul Pierce. All right, Paul Pierce. All right, look, Paul Pierce.
He's bugging. He's always bugging.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie. This
He's
is not a
always
Paul
bugging.
Pierce jersey, y'all. Let me make sure I hold this up. This is an Isaiah Thomas Celtics jersey, all right? Okay, let me get that out the way. Paul Pierce, listen, I thought T Mac was on the la 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 that Jay Z was talking about. Nah, you are, buddy. You took it from T Mac. You gave it to T Mac. You gave that to T Mac. Paul, listen, he is the truth. And that's my thing. All right, for not, if you're being real for a minute, it's almost like when I be talking to people from when I was in college and they be talking and they want to talk now, like, yo, like, like they gonna go at me or something. And it's like, yo, listen, when we was in college and stuff like that, and I was knocking your head off on the court, you can't change history because you
Mhm.
want to talk now. I feel like a lot of guys they want to rewrite history now that they done playing. Paul
Mhm.
Pierce, you was nice. Pure scorer, yo, chill,
But he said
chill.
he was the best pure
Chill.
scorer in
Yes, that's what.
NBA
Chill. That's what I'm
history.
Yeah,
saying.
it's too much.
Paul Pierce. You cannot rewrite that because time passed and you
That's crazy.
chill. Like Paul Pierce. Listen, listen, listen. Chill, chill.
But
And he's the truth though. But he's just going overboard. And I feel like when you do stuff like that, then it make people like it take away from you.
but
Just you can say he was one of the best scorers.
but
Go
hold
ahead.
on, bro. Before you go on, I just want you to put in context what he said because Durant was brought up. So he said he's a better pure scorer than Durant. Then he took it a step further and say he's the best pure scorer in
Yeah,
NBA
yeah,
history.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
I guess yeah,
so
this
go
is my
ahead.
response to that. This is my
Go
response
ahead.
to that. like, Scott's fucking like, yeah, for real. Like, first of all, you're not a better pure scorer than Durant. I
No,
mean, we're gonna start
no.
there because he was mentioned. Like, that's why I'm saying Paul Pierce. Like, don't do that. Like, you one of the greats. Like, people do sleep on you and don't give you enough credit at times. You
Mhm.
one of the best, Paul. No, like, not trying to come at you. Used to do your thing, but when you do stuff like that, it just be like, yo, come on, man. Like, I could understand a point of having no flaws in his game. Like, I'm gonna give for an example. Iverson is known as a better scorer than a Paul Pierce, but Paul Pierce could score in more ways than AI because he's bigger. So the
Mhm.
post game, and
Mhm.
certain things, Paul, it's like I could understand him trying to make a point like that or something. But
Mhm.
when you start trying to belittle Durant, and then like you was better than Mike, scorer than Mike, Durant, like that's when it's like I'm not even talking. I don't even want to talk about him. Like,
What's your
I
two
like the
cents, Tommy?
confidence, but come on, man. Like like I said, I like the confidence, but it reminds me of what Draymond told him when he was on the Clippers. Like, come on, man, you ain't
yeah,
Kobe. Like, chill,
yeah,
chill.
You ain't
yeah.
love like that. He
Like
don't love you like
he was
that.
saying, and they asked him on his show, whatever. I don't know. I don't watch the show, but I saw the clip on Instagram or something. But they asked him like they just read off names like Paul Pierce or LeBron, Paul Pierce, T Mac, Paul Pierce, Iverson, and he's like. Paul Pierce, and I'm like, come on, man, like, you know what I mean, like, come on.
Hold on. Paul Pierce was picking himself over everybody.
Yeah, yeah, they were asking him. There's a clip that I just saw recently, and there was a clip I just saw recently, and it was they were asking like the best scorers in NBA history. They're like Paul Pierce or Kobe Bryant. Paul Pierce was like, I'm bigger than Iverson. I'm this or that, this that, and then he said Durant, and he's like me over McGrady, over Durant, and I was like, come on, man, like I feel like if anything he brings more hate to himself because he's just what I mean like now people are coming at him crazy, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like now people are like, yo, why are you saying you're better than Durant as a scorer? Like, come on, man, like that's
Right.
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
gets the hate, you know what I mean.
I'm getting my Kanye on when he had the interview with academics.
Hey yo, shoot for the loser. I like that statement. He said, "I love his delusional confidence."
Yeah, yeah, that's all it is, it's delusion.
You know what gets me about these past NBA greats? I call them greats. T Mac,
Yeah,
Tracy. Paul Pierce. Um, you got Gilbert, but he be talking out of his on his podcast. But I think these guys relish in their past glories, and they take out of context what and who they comparing themselves to. Like
Mhm.
yeah,
you're comparing yourself to Kevin Durant, who was undoubtedly, arguably one of the best pure efficient. He's
Mhm.
efficient now.
capitalize efficient. That's in every letter capital with like 10
Efficient
exclamation points after.
Mhm.
Please.
scorers that the NBA has ever seen. Right?
Yeah,
When I watched Paul Pierce play, he had one of those lazy bucket games, right? Like
Yeah,
he's
he
not
was he was like slow, like, you know what I mean,
yeah,
slow,
like, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
super slow, just lethargic with his jump shot, but he would look in the box score like, oh, dang, got 35, 36 on me.
Mhm.
But the KD is a 3, 4, 5, 6
Yeah,
level grade scorer.
Like
Like
Durant,
is
like come
no
on, man.
compare. And I think these guys live in their past and because they want to make sure people don't forget about them. They would
Yeah,
say some
yeah,
outlandish shit. They'd be in the
yeah,
head to be in the
yeah,
headlines on social media, you know, and
yeah.
then it's going to take the social media fingers to really humble you guys like, you're bugging. You're
And
bugging.
to that point,
Stop the cat.
you know who people like to talk a lot about, but they don't. They just give honest opinions, but they don't be bigging themselves up. Charles Barkley. He
Yeah,
just give his honest opinion. He don't be like, "Yo, I'm the great." He don't do that.
right. He never does that.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or even like a Allen Iverson, always show love. And I feel
Yes.
like that's why people they give him love because they're not overselling themselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Even
Yes.
like you don't hear Karl Malone or a lot of guys
Kevin
that they be like, oh,
Garnett.
yeah, you don't hear them like doing
Yeah.
that,
Right.
doing that. And I think that like it's like you don't need to do that because then it's gonna have a negative effect.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, we give Paul Pierce props. Like Paul Pierce,
Yeah,
you know, NBA champion. You know,
he
one
was
of
nice. Paulie was
you know
nice.
a great scorer. You know, we're not going to
Yeah,
say he's one of the greatest scorers of all time, but a great scorer when he had his time.
yeah, yeah,
But
for sure, for
at
sure.
some point, we got to stop the cat. These OGs
Yeah.
got to stop the cat. You know, because he's not even. Is he better than T Mac?
Talent wise, no, but we have to put him above T Mac because how the
Yeah.
career is played out.
Career,
Yeah.
Is he better
okay.
than Melo? To me,
Who?
no.
As a scorer,
Oh
I don't
Pierce.
think
no, no,
so.
no, no,
As a
no.
scorer, I don't think so.
No, no,
I don't
not
think he's
even
better
better
than
than
Melo,
Melo as
period.
scorer. It's
I don't think he's better
Durant
than Melo,
and
period.
Melo is right under Durant, like right under Durant, right under. I think
Yeah.
the only thing that
Yeah.
makes Durant a better scorer than Melo is his efficiency. That's
Mhm.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. Because Melo could shoot the three, shoot the
Yeah.
midi, post up, layup. He
Mhm.
got
And
everything.
Melo
It
was real physical too. Like,
real
Yeah.
physical.
but real quick, I feel like these former NBA players, I feel like the stars, like I don't even say superstars, like the stars, like the T Max, the Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
I feel like their takes are always horrible. Like I'd rather listen to a former role player. Like I think the
Right.
role players have better insight because they'd show you like as a as a former NBA player being in the locker room, this is how it is. Whereas the
Right.
former stars, they're just like, man, I'm better than like
Yeah.
Paul Pierce saying he's better than KD. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. That made I ain't gonna lie. I kind of I tuned out. Like I'm like, ah, he's bugging.
I'm gonna send you
Next.
guys. I'm gonna send you guys the clip. I'm gonna try to find it after this, but I'm gonna send you guys the clip of them going through all the all-time great scores, and he's just listing reason why he's better than all of them.
Yeah. Paul Pierce, you're on
Yeah,
timeout. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
Cat.
then
Paul Pierce. Cat.
yeah.
I feel like on that type of since like I like the where the energy at, so we keep it there. This was an interesting one to me because I'm like, I don't know how much I really like this one, but about which is harder, the 6 rings or LeBron's 8 trips. I mean, I'm gonna say this: the 3-peats wasn't consecutive, and what Jordan did is amazing and everything. I know LeBron didn't win every time, right? So it's like I just feel like though to get to the finals 8 straight times, switching teams and with the teams, that ain't easy. Neither is what Jordan did. That's why I said I don't really know if I like the question because I
Mhm.
look at it from both ways. But doing something 8 times consecutive, win or loss, is not easy. That's not, and then he ain't always have the best team, especially them later years in Cleveland. Like when they beat Boston when Tatum was a rookie, Boston had more talent, but I think how great Braun took over that, got him over the hump with that. For
Mm-hmm.
example,
Mm-hmm.
then I mean I know it was a time when they had beat Isaiah Thomas in the Celtics. They was number 1 seed at Boston, but people saying they wasn't the real number 1 seed. There's a couple of times where he overcame being like I'm not gonna say underdog, but not the better team, quote unquote. But making it 8 straight is tough. Winning 2 3-peats is tough. You know? So like which one is harder? That's why I said I don't really know how much I like it. So I'll let y'all take away. Cause for me, it's like I'm looking at it and I can't just outright pick because it's like none of them is easy. I don't think we'll never see it again.
Mhm.
Either way.
Neither. Yeah, neither.
Well, I'm going to just piggyback off you and
Uh-huh.
Mel. Before you
Yeah.
go, Tommy, I'm going to piggyback off you and tell
Mhm.
you why Jordan 6 is tougher. For the
Okay.
simple reason that LeBron went to 8 straight.
Uh-huh.
right? And
Yeah.
during that 8 straight, only won 3, right? So as hard as it is to get there, right, you only won 3 out of the 8.
Well,
Jordan
he won
went
4. He won 4. He had 4
no,
rings.
but no, out of the we're talking about the 8 straight finals, 8 straight. He
Mhm.
won his last one, his fourth one in L.A. When he went to the 8 straight,
Okay.
he only won 3.
Because there was the year in between when the Raptors won.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
So
I'm following now. I'm following. I
yeah.
got you. All
So
right.
to go to 8 straight finals and only win 3, right?
Mhm.
And if you look at it, Jordan won when he won his own run. He won 3 straight. The man won 3 straight, right? And it's crazy. I was just watching the documentary, um
Last Dance.
Last Dance. So he won 3 straight. The dude retires. Go play baseball. Go play. Had to change his whole body up as far as baseball and bat. Totally different
Yeah. I
regimen.
remember that episode of the documentary
Comes
talking about
back
that.
in the middle of the season. And almost goes to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Then comes back, do Space Jam, whole movie, all that, and comes back and win 3 more straight. I think that is harder because you didn't lose. And mind you, in all those 6 championships, he never went to a game 7. You know, that's like that takes dedication, that takes focus, that takes energy, time. And granted, I'm not taking away from LeBron's 8 straight, but we
Yeah.
all know how LeBron's story it was when he was on certain teams. They say stacked teams. So I would say, in my unbiased opinion, I would think Jordan's 6 and those 3 repeat because no team has done that. No team, Magic, Bird, none of them. And he even said it. He was like, "Yo, I wanted to win 3 straight because Magic and Bird didn't do it." But he won 3 straight 2 times. That's
Mind you,
difficult.
they cheated Zeke in '88. They cheated the Pistons. They cheated him. But all right, go ahead,
We
Joe.
ain't talking about that. I just think Mike's 6 is
Uh,
tougher than LeBron's 8 because out of the 8, you only won 3. You only won 3. It's as difficult as it get to get there, but you got to win more than 3 if you go there 8 times. So that's just my unbiased 2 cents opinion. What you got, Tommy?
So I kind of agree. I don't really like the question because I think I saw it on the. I didn't even answer the poll. I saw it on your story. I didn't even answer the poll because it's
yeah.
kind of like I don't think we'll see either again. I think Jordan's was equally as impressive as LeBron and vice versa. Just because like you said, he went to go play baseball, everything, won 3 straight, played baseball, won 3 straight again, and LeBron, switching teams, and Cleveland, they traded the number 1 draft pick. They had the number 1 draft pick. They weren't good when
Wiggins.
LeBron got there. You know what I mean? They
Mm-hmm.
traded Wiggins and they had a young Kyrie, but he got them there in 8 straight. I feel like people don't really talk about the toll it takes on just
Your
your
body.
body.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you're a month behind, 2 months behind. Basketball playoffs last a long time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like baseball, football. That January. You know, January is the playoffs for football. Baseball it's October. So I basketball it's like 2 months usually extra longer, 2 months longer if you got second round of the to the finals, whatever it is. I don't know. I would probably give the edge to LeBron just because of the 8 straight and the toll on your body and everything. But I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but
Right. It could go.
I,
It could go either way because I could
yeah, yeah,
see
yeah,
people that because going to 8 straight
yeah.
finals,
It's
That's
like you
crazy. It's
crazy.
said,
Yeah.
crazy. It's
that's a
crazy.
lot.
It's crazy.
That's a
Especially
lot.
the eighth one too, in the fashion in which he had to go there, with basically having nobody in his team. Like, it was Kevin Love and a bunch of, washed up guys. JR was not knowing the
Not
score and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
so
Cleveland's
Man,
last
the
hoorah.
the eighth one,
yo.
yeah, the eighth one where he got to that game 7 and put the
Mm-hmm.
team on his back. I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think they're both impressive. Like I said, I think just because the physical toll, I'd probably say LeBron just by a little bit.
Mm-hmm. The only reason why I'm my last day. The only reason why I would say Mike is because if you look at NBA franchises and teams, right?
Yeah.
How difficult it is to win one,
Hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
two.
For sure.
to 2, right? Like, because you got
Mm-hmm.
Golden State, they won 2, they could have won 3. People say if Kevin Durant to get it injured, right? Kobe won 3 straight with the Lakers, and then he could have did it again under Phil Jackson with Shaq, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't, right? And Mike did it twice. You guys, I just, to me, I just think that is in the totality of what he did during that time where he stopped, right? Stop. Because some people could argue that if he didn't stop, he could have won 8 straight, right? You know, because, and that is a strong argument because you see when after he came back, they ran off 3 more, right? So that's a compelling argument to say if Michael Jordan did not retire, they could have won at least 8 championships straight. That's crazy. And that's not even 8 appearances. That's 8 championships. You
Real
know?
quick, do y'all think they would have won 8 straight if he didn't retire?
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely. I
thing
would have
about
loved
it,
to see that Houston Rockets and Bulls matchup. That
the thing about it is the whole injury thing. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, that's why I'm like, we will never know because
we'll never know.
one little
Yep.
injury
Mm-hmm.
could change the whole thing. Like, for example,
Right.
Scottie Pippen talking about if it would have went to Game 7 against Utah, he wasn't playing because it's back. So
Right.
if it would have went to Game 7,
Mm-hmm.
would the Bulls have beat the Jazz? You know,
Right.
it's like it's like I look at all the teams in that time. It's like if the Knicks didn't get that crazy ass call on Scottie Pippen on Hubert
Scott.
Davis on the 3,
Right.
the Bulls probably go to the conference finals and then who might go to the final. Like, so you know
Right.
that's why it's a good what if because the injury aspect we don't know.
Right.
I
You know what I'm
think they might
saying?
have. I don't think they would have gotten the same success on the back end. You know what I mean? I think their bodies might have been a little spent at that point. I don't know if they would have had the same success on the back end. But those middle matchups, if they would have played Hakeem, I think that would have been real interesting.
But I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
Love to see that
yeah.
That's why I
because
love the
Mhm.
'98 championship because of
mhm,
how they were so spent and
Yeah,
Scotty was hurt and all the adversity. Because real
mhm,
yeah.
talk,
Hmm.
Indiana, I was having this debate with Sajiro, and we was going back. I'm like, yo, take emotion and who Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen are. Indiana was a better team than the Bulls from talent wise. Am I
Hmm.
lying, bro? Tommy? From a
uh,
talent in '98,
I
just from a
think
talent.
taking emotion
Like
and
the
everything out
Bulls
of
had
it.
the better players, but from a talent, I look Reggie
I
Miller,
mean,
Mark Jackson, Jalen Rose, the Davis brothers, Chris Mullin, um,
that's
Travis
cool.
Best.
That's
I'm just saying from a
cool.
talent, from a top to bottom. We
I'm
know the
saying
Bulls had the better players.
The
I'm saying
depth.
that's
I
cool,
think the
but
depth of the Pacers, yeah,
yeah,
was
but
Yeah,
they got
from
they
a
the
got
depth. Yeah,
Michael Jeffrey Jordan, bro. Michael
no,
Jeffrey
no,
Jordan
I'm not
equates to
debate.
5.
I'm
yeah,
not debating that. But then I'm
Mm.
saying hence though, why they took him to Game 7. Even
Because of
Utah
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
think. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But
Mm,
Indiana took him to 7, and it was a tight Game 7. It really
mm,
got separated in like the last couple minutes where it was like, damn, the Bulls they're gonna win. But
mm,
early on, Indiana had him. So
mm,
that's why I'm saying like that's why that series was like that. And Michael
mm,
Jordan's Michael Jordan. That's why the Bulls won. But that's the
mm.
Mhm.
point I'm making though. Like that was a tough matchup. I
Yeah.
think that was the best, the hardest test, even over Utah, the Indiana.
Mm,
I think Indiana's underrated by how good they were. And that's why
mm,
I like the '98 chip so much because of
mm.
all the adversity.
Right.
Like with Scotty not being 100, Mike
Mm,
having to carry it. Dennis Rodman
mm,
want to be wrestling, want to be an
mm.
NWO. You know what James would be? He would be Hulk Hogan and NWO. Like, you know what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
when I really look at what they went through in '98, that's
Mm,
my favorite chip for the Bulls
right.
because of everything. And everybody didn't know for sure that yo, are they gonna make it? Because Dennis
Mm,
Rodman want to wrestle. Scotty's bitching.
mm.
Phil's out. Mike is
Yep.
looking around like yo. If yo, listen, if Phil don't come back, I'm out.
I'm
It
out.
was so
Right.
much
Yeah.
different stuff going on. That's why I'm
Mm,
like that right there is this difference. And also something else earlier. I know we're going all over the place, but this is why Mike is number one. And this is the difference. As close as Kobe Bryant is to Mike, this is the difference right here. '98, a lot of people could like, even for example, it ain't the same thing, But Kobe with the rape trial and how it messed him up mentally. That's why I think the Lakers lost to the Pistons. Everybody keep talking. I'm like, that man was going like life. It was like a life or death type of thing.
Yeah.
That was a big thing to overcome. People keep talking about the Pistons. That man's career was on the line. His marriage, everything. So people act like Kobe was in the right frame of mind. He was not. Had he been, I feel like they killed Detroit. But that's another topic. But when Jim Jackson was talking about Kobe Bryant quitting that game 7 against Phoenix to prove a point,
Yeah.
Mike never does that. That's the difference between Mike and Kobe. Michael
That's
Jordan is not sacrificing a game to prove a point. To who?
Right.
And lose? No.
Right. But that was the same thing he said about Pippen when Pippen refused to go in because he drew up to play for Kukoc.
Pippen's a BB. Yo, Pippen be bitching, yo.
Mike was like, Pippen,
like,
no better than that.
Yeah, like, what the hell is you doing? So, you know, that's my thing. But yeah, like, you know, like, and since we talking about Mike, though, imagine if he would have went to the Knicks in 96, 97. There would have been no 3-peat with the Bulls. The Knicks would have 3-peated?
Yo.
If the Knicks, yo, Tommy, you hear about that? It was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. I never knew that, though.
Yeah.
I never knew about this.
I saw that.
So I'm gonna read the story right quick.
I think they would have won a couple chips. Yeah, I think they would have at least back to back.
So they say in the summer of '96, during Mike's free agency, there were reports that he came incredibly close to signing with the Knicks. Some sources stated that he was prepared to join the Knicks if Chicago Bulls did not make a satisfactory offer. So they were saying that Mike used that as a ploy to get more money because Knicks gave him an offer sheet. They gave him an offer sheet. He was like, yo, y'all got 30 minutes. Mike said, you got 30 minutes to match this shit or I'm out. But people were saying he was not going to sign with the Knicks. He was just using that to get more money, and ultimately he signed one of the biggest contracts at that time. Just what if, and I just, before y'all go, I just want to run down this. Yeah. Mind you, Michael Jordan was a free agent, so they would have signed Michael Jordan,
a free agent.
With this team. Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston, Larry Johnson, Oakley, Starks, Childs, Ward, Buck Williams, Herb Williams, Scotty Brooks, John Waters, Walter McCarty, Dante Jones, Chris Gent, Eric Lechner. That's his squad. Knicks would have had at least 2.
Chips. Because that was the hoodlum Knicks that was snuffing people, always on the news for fighting. Heck yeah. Mike would have had all the tough guys with him. Oh yeah.
Now, so Mike ain't going to do that because Mike is Mike. Mike is not going to join the competition he wanted to because Knicks was his biggest rivalry. So I kind of feel like he was never going to join the Knicks. That was I remember one time I saw that they had it had a paper article and they had Michael Jordan in the Knicks uniform on the cover of the Daily News. It was crazy. Like he was that close. I don't think he was that close. I think he was that close to the media. Was like he was that close. But I don't think Mike was going to sign with the Knicks. But that's it. That's why we're talking about it now. It's interesting.
So what years were that? That was
the 96, 97. That was the second year of the three-peat, the second three-peat.
Okay, so it was 96, 97, then would have been 97, 98, right? Assume it was a 2-year deal, I'm assuming, or something like that.
He signed the 1 year, the 1 year, 30.14 million.
Yeah, they would have if they had Mike, they would have won. They would have won for sure.
Absolutely.
At least I think they would have at least went back to back if he was there for 2 years. Yeah,
they would have got 2.
Yeah, they would have got 2.
And that was only a 1 year deal that he signed. I'm looking at this. I'm like, yo, look at the NBA contracts now compared to them. Michael Jordan, a 1 year deal was 30.14. That's crazy.
That was at the tail end of his career.
That was crazy at that time.
Yeah, and that was the tail end of his career. He never got paid adequately.
Crazy.
Yeah. Like even remember Magic Johnson's contract with the Lakers was like 20 years, like 10 million. Some dumb number like that. Crazy. So yeah. The next thing we got is the signature shoes. I thought about this one. The signature shoes of today versus the 90s. All right. And Tom, deal with the sneakers, man. Yo, listen.
Oh, real quick. Today I was at work and Meek Mill came in and he bought a couple of 12s. Yeah, he bought a couple. I sold him a couple of 12s. Yeah.
Where you live at, Tommy?
Jersey, South Jersey.
Oh,
he don't live far from me. He don't live far from me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, he
that's
he came
crazy.
in. He came in. He bought a couple 12s. Yeah, I sold him a couple pairs of 12s.
That's dope.
Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
people
You
was
got a
mobbing him
click?
in the store.
No, no, no. He was. I mean, it's a quiet day, and he actually comes into our store every once in a while. So he's
Mm.
kind of
Oh,
like a regular customer, but he always comes in with a group of people. He'll buy like $5,000-$10,000 worth of stuff, like
Oh
like
shit.
nothing. But yeah, he'll come in
oh,
with a group of
I.
people, and they'll buy a bunch of stuff. They were throwing like wiffle balls in the cart at the end and everything, like
Mm.
whatever. But
Oh,
yeah,
I. That's dope. That's dope.
he bought some Hardens. He bought some Hardens, and he bought some 12s.
Them hardest
Oh,
is
I.
tough though. I like those
He
Yeah,
bought
hardens.
those yeah, some baby
the
blue Hardens,
nines,
but yeah.
the nines, right?
Mm.
Yeah, the hard nines, yeah.
Yeah,
Tough.
yeah. I might have to get a pair of those, hooping it, get
Yeah, yeah.
buckets.
But
But
keep going what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
yeah, no, you're good, you're good. The shoes, though,
Now,
because we're
mind
talking
you, we
about
might get
shoes.
cut off because we hit that hour mark on Instagram.
mhm.
Oh yeah, we'll jump back on if it do.
Mm.
How close are we to the hour joint?
Not sure, but I know we're close to it. I wish they gave us
All right,
like
a
but
time
we
limit. All
don't know.
right, but the signature shoes, though, I was all right. Nike, yeah, dope. But y'all gotta, Giannis, his kicks,
Yeah,
y'all playing with him, man.
yeah.
Like, yeah, like you know what it is? Giannis, it's like he deserves a shoe line. Say like you
Hmm.
deserve a shoe line, so we're gonna give you shoes. Cause his
Mm-hmm.
shits be trash, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like the people who got shoes now. Devin Booker joints, I like them because they tried to make it like he hooping it, but they casual, so they try to go
Yeah.
for both. So from a
Yeah.
rocking them standpoint, I feel like Devin Booker might have the most rockable because they look
Yeah.
like an Air Force One
Yeah,
or
they
like
look
a
like a regular
Blazer type,
sneaker. Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But Giannis shoes, come on, man. I mean, not even not gonna Nike like like Harden joints is smooth now.
Hmm.
Hardest is hard.
Anthony Edwards joints, people was rocking them. But
Mm-hmm.
see,
People
Donovan
buy a lot of
Mitchell,
them.
yeah, Donovan Mitchell,
Hmm.
Adidas, yo,
Yeah.
them Trey
Yeah.
Youngs, Adidas,
Yo, Trey Young's is
yo,
Trey Young's is trash.
yo, yo, yo. Then, hold on, and then Nike, hold on, y'all doing y'all thing with the Sabrinas and the girls, y'all holding them down. The Asia
Yeah.
Wilsons,
People go hard for the Asias.
yeah, they
Yeah,
look
they're
like
just
Air
the color.
Maxes.
She had a new colorway. Those are
Hmm.
hard.
Yeah, those is tough. Those is tough. But Nike, Giannis, nah, no.
I'm a,
LeBron is LeBron, okay,
Yeah.
but
and
you
I'm
know,
gonna say this about. I think I forgot who I was having a conversation with, but I'm like, if you look at because even if you look at the Jordan 40s, right? Like
yeah,
everybody is gearing, and you know how when fads come about, everybody got to be in the fads. Everybody got to follow what's the trendy thing. So
Hmm.
right
yeah,
now, as far as
yeah.
sneakers is concerned, nobody is making these signature sneakers are not made for wearing outside of the basketball court,
It's a
Hmm.
and
performance.
they performance shoes. They
Yeah.
Yeah.
ram on the court. So that's where the gap is at, right? Because
Yeah.
I think what was the last wearable Jordan? Maybe
I mean,
It's
the
probably
ones that he played in. The ones he played in.
one of the original 13 or 14, you know?
Yeah, the ones he actually played in,
Yeah. No one's
honestly.
no one's rocking a Jordan 40 in the mall. You know what I mean?
yeah, nobody's
Yeah, unless
rocking
they
it
playing ball.
unless
Yeah.
they playing
Yeah,
ball.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the thing,
And
right? Because
the
even
Tatums, the Lucas,
Hmm.
those
mhm,
are straight ball
like I will
sneakers.
rock the James Hardens though. I will rock
Yeah,
those
everybody like them
outside.
Hmm.
Hardens. The Hardens, yeah, the
Those
Hardens.
Yeah.
Hardens
Adidas is
is
doing their
tough.
thing with the
Yeah.
wearing because the Anthony Edwards and the Hardens, you could rock them.
Yeah.
Yeah, those is tough. But I mean, that's why because sneakers are not being made to wear outside casually. They made
Yeah.
for performance and playing on a basketball court. So
Yeah.
that's
But look,
why
like
the
that's why
disconnect.
we compare it to the '90s. The
Hmm.
Barclays,
Yeah,
Ciroc, the
yeah.
Pennies, the
Hmm.
Mikes. Even
If you look
I
at
remember,
all those sneakers, though, you can wear all those sneakers outside of
yeah,
the basketball court.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Every single one of them,
Yeah.
yeah.
even down to the
The Gary
Ewings.
Paytons, the
The
earrings,
earrings.
yeah. Now the earrings is not the earrings has he had some tough silhouettes. All of them
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah,
track,
you
Definitely
know.
I had a couple pair of earrings, some of them was
Yeah.
tough.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
So,
saying?
but that's that's what a disconnect, and that's what these the younger generation is wearing now. They like that type
Hmm.
of shit. They like that. That's what they wear. I be seeing these kids out with those sneakers. The Damian Lillards, the Giannis's, I be
Nah.
seeing them
You
wearing
know,
them.
they'll be rocking the Lilies. They'll be rocking the
No,
play ball. Yeah, they'll be rocking them shit.
now I be seeing them. Just like these orthopedic shoes, like these New Balances and these Pumas, and these dudes be rocking these shoes.
Nah,
I be
yo,
like, yo, y'all
bro.
rocking
Well, yo,
this?
the dude who you said it was a kid who was rocking the Lilies.
Yeah, I seen them. I
He was
seen
with a
them.
fit, with an outfit
Nah.
in the
I
mall.
mean, what he had on? I forget, but I seen him like, yo, but yo,
Nah,
because
son.
yo, I'm telling you,
Oh.
because you look at our style right now, how we grew up in style,
Yeah, yeah.
fashion is not the same as it
Nah,
was back then. Like these
nah.
Mhm.
dudes are just wearing, you see they wearing these big boots, big shoes, big laces, they dressing
Mhm.
up, they just
Yeah,
wearing whatever
yeah,
they want to wear.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and it's like that's fashion. So it's like you got to be adaptive to what the fashion is now, because we were thinking back in the 90s where our sneakers was like wearable, but this is what they wearing now, and that's why everybody making
Yeah.
shoes that's performance based, and they're not making it wearable no more.
I
Like
ain't
the
gonna
jordan
lie.
the jordan 40s is trash, but hey.
I ain't gonna lie. Puma, the
Mhm.
Halliburtons, people tear them Achilles and all that. They might mess up themselves, man.
No, you know who got some great sneakers that's dope?
Oh,
LaMelo Ball. Them shits is
I was gonna say
fire.
that. So just
I got a pair of LaMelo balls.
from my experience, selling the shoes and stuff,
Hmm.
people honestly, I feel like like you said, the Hardens, the Edwards, the Lamellos, like outside of Nike, I feel like people are starting to get those more. The one that people really go hard for Nike is the Jazz. To be honest, like I feel like that's the
Josh?
one. Yeah, people. I
Like
feel
you
like
want
that's
to rock 'em?
not even to rock them, just to buy them. You know what I
Buy
mean?
them.
Just
Oh, okay.
buying
All
them.
right, all right,
You
all
know,
right.
not even to rock them, but just like
All
even
right.
on the court or
Those
whatever.
them shits that you play ball or mow the lawn in. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. but
For
but
sure.
yeah, I feel like people they really like anytime people are looking to play ball, they'll get basketball shoes where, if they want like, some casual stuff, they'll look in that section. People aren't really looking for those. Like I don't really see people like, oh, these are fire, let me get these. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
they go to the basketball ball if they playing ball. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. They ain't got that appeal like back in the days, man.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah,
we
it's
Damn
appeal
sure
that.
don't.
the ones
Damn
for
sure don't.
basketball, like I said, is the Jazz and the Hardens and the Lamellos and the girls ones too, the Sabrinas and the Asias.
Yeah,
People
Sabrina's.
people been buying a
Shout
lot
out
of
to
them.
Sabrina's.
People
Shout out
been
to the
buying a lot of them.
Sabrinas. Yeah, those are great basketball kicks, fellas.
Yeah.
And
Them the
ladies,
Aja
everybody out there.
Wilson joints is tough. That colorway, that new colorway she got out,
They
tough.
tough. They've been selling out quick because that's the
Tough.
Yeah.
new sneaker.
We'll keep them for like maybe a couple hours and that's it, and then they're gone.
Gone.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Those is
Tough.
tough though. Salute to all everybody who has a signature shoe. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie, Scoot Henderson got kicks, but Puma, you
We
giving
got the
out
scoots
kicks,
in.
man.
We got the scoots in.
Got the scoots.
Yo, Puma,
Yeah, we
what's
got.
good? Can I get a sneaker, man? You know what I'm
Word.
saying? Like,
Scoot.
the fuck?
But
Give me
they
the loop.
they sit there. They sit there. They sit there.
Yeah, like, you know what I
Yeah, they
mean?
sit there.
And then, our last joint though, the WNBA, the All-Star reserves.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
mean, a couple of people that we talked about last time actually did make it. From
Yep.
Skylar Diggins,
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese,
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey Plum,
Kelsey Plum, yep.
um,
Courtney
damn,
Williams.
yeah,
Gabby Williams.
yep,
Angel Reese. Alyssa
yes, sir, yeah,
Thomas. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, it's looking good. That should be a good, entertaining game. You know what I'm saying? Should be a good, entertaining game. You got Angel Reese complaining about the refs. You know, that they got to get together. But honestly, the product is trending in the right direction,
Yeah.
and I'm interested to see how they do with the All Star. I feel like that could be a win though, and it'll make the fellas look bad if the girls go out there and put on a dope game.
Hmm.
You
Right.
know,
Wait, Caitlin and Angel Reese on the same team, right?
the way they do it is weird because it's like it's supposed to be an East and a West conferences they
Oh.
have, but it's just that when they have the teams, it don't like it's not like it's East and West. It's just
Yeah.
I don't understand how they organize the All
Because I
Star
thought they
team.
did like a draft too. Cause I saw something. They was like, is
Maybe
Caitlin
it had
Clark
to
going
be
to
like that.
I
draft
think it's like
Angel
a
Reese?
draft. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
Okay.
it didn't make sense. Yeah, because I'm like, why is it
Mm-hmm.
like that? Okay, that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Okay, yeah, got it. So You
I just
know,
want to see Caitlin Clark go against Paige Beckers. I want to see that. Just want to see that. Because Paige Beckers, she now became my new favorite WNBA player. She is nasty. She nasty. Paige is
we'll,
nasty.
we'll see what happens when they face the Liberty, man. Come playoff time, we're going for a number 2 ring. You heard?
All right.
You heard? And I'm gonna cop them Sabrinas, man. Go to New York to the parade. You heard? Sabrinas. My team is the Liberty though. I always like the Liberty.
That's
From
by
when it's,
default, or you actually like the Liberty.
from when I was young, when they first came out, I always liked Teresa Weatherspoon and Lobo. Like
And
when it came to the
Lobo,
WNBA, I liked the Liberty. I was always a New
yeah.
York Liberty fan when it came to them.
Mm.
From the
Would you
Teresa
buy
Weatherspoon
a
era.
New York Liberty jersey?
I was gonna get a Sabrina joint. They had them on an
Oh,
authentic joint, but
okay.
it sold out in my size though. I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
damn. I was on Nike. They had them on clearance. I think they switched the jersey. Who made the jersey? So they was selling them for cheaper.
I
So
ain't gonna
I
front.
was
I
going. I
ain't
was going.
buying a women's jersey, bro. I ain't doing that.
I mean, that's why if you're not me, baby, you wear black nasties, baby. So you go to things you go through. You
Yo,
dig? You
Get
know
you
what I'm
yo,
walking
saying?
around with a Beckers
yo,
jersey
Mal,
on or some shit.
you always give the black nasties hell. You always
It
give
Yeah,
is
them
my
so
brother had a
dude.
black nasty, man. Come on, he had
But
a black nasty, Tom. Come
I
on.
dress him up so nice. I got black, greens, reds, golds, suede, leather. I got all types of flavors. All types of
Yo,
flavors.
man, see, and that's episode 17, y'all, because this guy's fronting right now. He's fronting right now.
Hey man, I want to shout out Tommy, man, for coming on, man.
Yeah,
Shout out,
appreciate you,
salute to
Tommy.
Tommy, man. Hey, I know you wanted to say, before we get cut off,
Go
who's the
ahead.
best top shortstop
Oh,
in
it's Derek Jeter, man. It's Derek Jeter, man. That's all. That's all
Of
we need
all
to say.
time,
Top shortstop ever is Derek Jeter.
Derek
It's
Jeter?
Derek
the
Jeter. It's Derek
captain.
Jeter.
But I will
It's the
say
captain.
this. Shout out to all them Red Sox fans, because there was a time when Garcia Parra was better. I'm going to
All
drop the
right,
mic.
I'm out. I'm
And
out.
on that
I'm
note,
out.
episode
I'm out.
17.
I'll see y'all.
Yo, man.
Hey.
Love.